If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
You think he had a chance to win?
But what makes you say that? You know, I mean,
he need the money. I'm telling you.
Does he have a chance to win though?
The boxing world is on fire right now. Terence "Bud" Crawford, widely regarded as the pound-for-pound #1, has agreed to face Gervonta "Tank" Davis. But there is a serious twist. This is no ordinary deal. Crawford placed a firm and uncompromising demand that has shaken the sport. His requirement is clear. Tank must defeat Jake Paul in their scheduled November fight before he gets the opportunity. Only after that will Bud step into the ring with him. Let's go through everything, because this is no longer just about titles or rankings. It is about legacy, redemption, and earning respect. And it is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic storylines boxing has witnessed in years.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow,
man.
Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147
Ooh, see, oh man.
You're gonna have a pre-count.
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
Crawford does not joke around when it comes to protecting his legacy. After dominating Canelo Alvarez, he strengthened his reputation as one of the most skilled technicians the sport has ever witnessed. So when Gervonta Davis began calling him out, Bud did not ignore it. He responded with a clear message and a direct requirement. Show that you deserve it. Defeat Jake Paul first.
You know, unification, right? I know we last talked Big Bro first, the Tank, right? And then, or is it...
Whoever. I told Tank. Tank know what's up. You know what I mean? He know what he up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn. You know what I mean? He want to fight these guys that everybody in the world know they ain't gonna give him no fight. They not mentally there. You know what I mean? They might have a little skills here and there, but mentally wise, they not gonna be able to keep it up that whole fight. And them 2 guys right there, you know what I mean, is gonna be the ones that, you know, give him his first hit.
At first, this condition might seem simple. Tank is a 3-division world champion, and Jake Paul is often labeled as a YouTuber who stepped into boxing. But when you look closer, the situation is more complicated. Jake competes at around 195 pounds and brings clear size and strength advantages. Tank, on the other hand, has never comfortably moved beyond 140. That creates a gap of nearly 60 pounds. By setting this requirement, Crawford is challenging Tank to take a serious risk and overcome a major physical hurdle before he can even consider facing him in the ring.
He should beat Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
You don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. Do you think that you think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Jake Paul,
he's a little man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment for walking forward, then look, there's a way to one.
Crawford's demand is about more than simply setting a tough test. He understands that Tank has faced criticism recently for choosing high-paying bouts over fights that build his legacy. Tank passed on a rematch with Lamont Roach, the opponent who gave him a tough night in their first meeting, and instead moved forward with the Jake Paul deal. That decision upset many fans. Critics quickly accuse him of avoiding serious competition.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. You definitely might see it in a minute.
So what does Crawford decide to do? He turns the situation around. He makes it clear to Tank that if he truly wants a shot at the top fighter in the world, then he needs to show everyone he can deal with the size gap, the spotlight, and the pressure that comes with facing Jake Paul. Only after that would a massive showdown between them feel justified. In many ways, Crawford is measuring Tank's resolve before ever stepping in to measure his ability.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
We also have to remember that the November bout with Jake Paul is already among the most debated fights of the year. Jake is entering as a cruiserweight, while Tank is naturally a lightweight, putting them roughly 6 divisions apart. Fans look at it this way. If Tank pulls it off, his status rises to another level. But if he falls short, his standing in the sport takes a serious hit.
How do I even start to break down a Tank Davis versus Jake Paul fight? Tank, a massively powerful fighter at 135 pounds, but his punch output is among the lowest in the sport. Jake has a pretty decent punch output for a guy that's 200 pounds. He hits hard in his own right, but doesn't have the skill and capabilities anywhere close, or the feet, or the hand speed, or the eyes anywhere close to Tank Davis, but has a power that Tank Davis has probably never felt, but just because Jake is naturally 70 pounds bigger than him, right? So 10 rounds, 3 minutes, who starts to show the wear and tear first? I know if Tank touches him on the jaw, it's probably not going to feel like roses, regardless if he's 135 or 150 or whatever he steps in that night. He's still a Tank and has still put guys down as he's gone up in weight, but Jake is just so much bigger. How much will the power that Tank has at the lower weight classes affect?
That is what makes Crawford's demand so harsh. He is not simply asking Tank to face him. He is requiring him to put everything on the line beforehand. Think about the reaction if Jake Paul were to knock out Gervonta Davis. Tank would not only miss his chance to fight Bud, but his reputation as a pound-for-pound elite fighter could suffer damage that might never be repaired.
When people, what I got from that is he's a hater. If you don't know me as a person, let's say you don't like me, you don't know me, feel me? And I don't give a fuck him. If everybody in the team win, I mean win.
Question for your proud father.
This condition is not just a simple request. It is a clear display of leverage. The reality is Gervonta Davis does not seem like the same fighter he was a few years ago. Back then, he was feared and opponents respected his power, his aggression, and his drive to dominate. Recently, that intensity appears reduced. Rather than pursuing the hardest tests, he has focused more on securing the most lucrative opportunities.
Tank is done. Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up, he done. Tank is done.
When you say done, you mean like not fighting anymore?
Tank is checked out mentally. Tank is gone mentally. Tank looking for the big bag, of Jake Paul, Pacquiao, something solo, and he's looking to, hey, I'll see you later. Tank is staying there. He's not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson at all. At all. I don't care how much money Turkey offer, give him 4 Lamborghinis, whatever. Tank ain't taking that fight.
Fans have picked up on it as well. Choosing Jake over a second fight with Lamont Roach did not sit well with many supporters. Roach pushed him hard in their first meeting and had moments where Tank looked uncomfortable. A rematch felt deserved, so stepping away from it led some people to believe he was avoiding that challenge.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like the governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he said, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit. When I fought Andre, that shit was burning my eyes, so I cut that.
Now the spotlight is fully on him. If Tank defeats Jake, he has the chance to change the story around his name. But if he comes up short, it could mark the end of the Tank fans once knew.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down.
I don't know if Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Boxing experts have been outspoken about the situation. Shakur Stevenson criticized Tank for even considering a fight with Jake Paul, saying it shows a lack of respect for the sport.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
it's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeff Mayweather also weighed in, stating that the fight doesn't make sense for the career of either boxer.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being exhibition, makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's gonna be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's gonna probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
On the other hand, Rolly Romero and Tapafimo Lopez defended Tank, saying you can't blame a fighter for going after the money.
You want a Tank and Jake type fight?
Nah, that's theirs. Let them have that.
What do you think about that? You think Gervonta has a better chance of knocking Jake out than Jake has a chance of knocking Gervonta out?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. From the height difference, Gervonta gonna have to hit him on the low blows and the belly button, bro, because that's all he gonna reach. I think it's great, man. No matter what, man, it's giving the boxing culture something to look into.
Yeah.
So no matter what it is, it could be comical to a lot of people. It's a circus act, whatever you want, blah blah blah. But it's entertainment, and I think everyone's gonna want to tune in. Gervonta Tank Davis. It's sad we never was able to get a fight in. Got to do what you gotta do, but I get it, man. You got kids, you got a wife or baby mom, whatever it is. But you know, you gotta make your money, yo. You gonna make your money, you gonna call it quits. And you know, I don't blame you on that part, you know. And Jake Paul, you know, do what you gotta do, don't get knocked out, and keep it cool.
And Nate Diaz pointed out that the weight gap alone makes this matchup both unusual and risky.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small.
It's just I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose to somebody else. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. You agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
right.
Like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight.
And we can't forget that Terence Bud Crawford pulled off one of the biggest shocks in recent boxing history when he dominated Canelo Alvarez. Before the fight, most people saw Canelo as untouchable, a superstar who had conquered multiple divisions and defeated every major opponent. But when the fight started, Crawford changed everything. He didn't just win, he controlled the match, outthinking Canelo at every turn, breaking him down with exacting precision and revealing weaknesses nobody expected.
Terence Crawford had the ability to fight backwards and stay composed, good defense, hands was always up, countering everything that Canelo was throwing at him. He was just a little more active fight. Canelo did hit him to the body, but it was pretty much all Terence Crawford.
I think some of what we saw from Canelo is what he's has to resort to now to fight. Maybe he's dealt with some injuries to where he's not as mobile. It's just the pattern that he's put himself in for the last, 6 to 8 fights. That same pattern is why Bivol was able to get him.
He did not allow Canelo to get inside, man. As soon as Canelo would get into that certain range, you would jab him. We didn't see any like lateral moves where he would throw, push off to the side as we used to see Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo was almost smothering his shot because he couldn't stay at range with him. And Terence Crawford runs off counter combinations. It would be a wider margin if they fought again.
Fans were bracing for a battle, but what unfolded was a masterclass. Crawford's quickness, timing, and technical skill made Canelo appear almost ordinary, in a way we hadn't witnessed before.
Been fighting people bigger than me all my life since I was a little kid, and I always came out on top. And they was like, man, would you ever fight Canelo? I like, man, Canelo too big. And then everybody like, oh man, you think you can beat Canelo? Oh man, he too big. You know, when you used to write what you want to be when you grow up, I used to write, I'm going to be a world champion. I never said I could.
That belief in yourself.
I always said I am. I just believe in my skills. I believe in me. The fact that people doubt me fueled me even more.
That display stunned the boxing world and cemented Crawford's place in history as not only an elite fighter, but possibly the best active boxer today.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's.
So when Crawford sets a condition for Tank Davis, it isn't about creating hype. He's the top fighter, the one in control, and Tank has to show that he even deserves to be in the same conversation.
Tank would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like,
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your...
I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
but like his core personality and his ways.
One of the biggest talking points leading into this fight is the weight difference. Jake Paul is essentially a cruiserweight, while Tank is naturally a lightweight. That creates a huge mismatch in size. Tank still has speed, power, and skill, but in boxing size cannot be ignored. Fans tend to focus less on the numbers and more on the spectacle. A YouTuber going up against one of the sport's hardest hitters. But the risk is clear. If Jake wins, it won't matter that Tank was smaller. Headlines would simply read, Jake Paul defeats Gervonta Davis, and that could seriously damage Tank's career. Reactions from fans have been intense. Some are hyped, saying the fight will be pure entertainment, while others are upset, claiming it undermines the sport. With Crawford's condition now in play, the stakes have grown even higher. This November fight is no longer just about Tank versus Jake. It could shape the future of boxing's pound-for-pound hierarchy.
Who do you think will win between Jake Paul and Gervonta? But I don't know. It should be Gervonta, right? But the waist size and everything, we'll see. It's a fun entertainment.
This isn't just about two big names fighting for a payday. There's genuine tension between Crawford and Tank. Their back and forth has been building for years and has long passed friendly rivalry. It began when Tank, in his typical confident manner, claimed that moving up in weight, he could handle Crawford easily. For a fighter like Bud, who has ruled multiple divisions and held the undisputed 147-pound title, that claim came across as highly disrespectful. Bud responded by challenging Tank's competition level and questioning the strength of his record.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
There ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining the catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
All right,
I'll welcome.
At the Gallup event, Crawford threw a subtle jab at Tank for his absence, making it clear he considers himself on a higher level. Tank fired back, boasting about his fame and earnings, but Crawford didn't let him take over the spotlight. Things escalated when Tank crossed the line, making disrespectful comments about Bud's family, turning it personal. For Crawford, that wasn't just rude. It was a serious violation, something you don't simply ignore. Since then, every jab, call out, and interview has carried extra intensity. This fight isn't just about titles or money. It's about pride, legacy, and settling scores.
There was some kind of crazy trash talk with Gervonta and Terence Crawford recently. And one of the things that I've always kind of noticed is most of the time, one of the things that's kind of off limits is families. Like you usually don't,
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. And so I wanted to kind of understand what your thoughts was about like some of those comments that was made. I think it was about Terence's wife. What, like in your mind, where, because obviously, like, you know, you've been in this sport.
I think Terence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now. It's good to see him in his position, in the position that he's in. I think he has a beautiful family. I think he has a beautiful wife, a beautiful queen, a black queen, and there's nothing better than a black woman in this world. That's just my opinion. We all entitled to our opinion. And
that's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one.